I will be introducing him. My name is Linda Kern, and I have been his teacher for 6 years. Will and I both started in the RISE program together. It was his first year, and it was my first year in the RISE program. He came, he was a boy. He was still taller than me, but he was a boy. And he was starting, I'm going to talk a little bit longer to give you some background on Will. And he came to a new school. They drive an hour to get here. He lives in Elizabeth. But every day they drive, he has a long drive, but he needed to make new friends. He needed to learn new academics, all while trying to navigate something that he has called dyslexia. In special education, we use a term called differently abled. And this is because a lot of times kids don't always see their strengths. They know their weaknesses, but they don't always know their strengths. And I'm sure you guys are all familiar with some unknown names, like maybe Albert Einstein, Steve Jobs, founder of Apple, Steven Spielberg. They all have had or have dyslexia. They have incredible strengths, and Will does not realize, but I have noticed his superpowers over the last 6 years. I have observed them. Will has an amazing ability to know details. He observes details. He observes all that's going on around him because he has to figure it out. When people expect you to know how to read and what's in front of you, he has to look at everything else and figure out what's being expected of him. And he does it well. An example, he can look at a multiple choice question and not even know what it says, but then say, I know what it's not, because they will not give a long answer with 3 short ones. So he might not even read the question yet, but he can already rule out what it's not. So even details like that. But it makes him a great athlete. Makes him a great football player, a great hockey player, because he has amazing instincts. He also has a fierce love for anyone, any friend or family. Friends are in here, families in here. He has a fierce love for anybody in his life. He's a protector, and he will take care of them. And I also know he has a lot of empathy, although he doesn't always show it, but he has an intense empathy for people around him. I am proud of you. I am impressed by you. It has been a joy to be your teacher, and I know you are going to be a success at whatever you do. And I am introducing Will Deeren.
Thank you guys for coming to my capstone on Christianity and sports. Competition, friends, and faith. Through my years, I've always been playing sports that I know of. It's just, my mom's always pushed me to always be playing a sport nonstop. Who's really helped me through sports is my grandpa. He's always been there. He's always driving me to school every day, talking about sports on the car rides. I can remember times when he drove me to church, and then I didn't understand what was going on in church, and then he explained it by putting it into a football term or something that I could very understand, because I didn't understand what they were talking about. And then on the car rides home, I remember listening to the Bronco game on the radio, waiting to get home to watch football on the TV with him, and having the funnest time of my life when I was younger. It just was all the joy watching football with my grandpa. I could not wait to watch football on Sundays. It brought so much joy to me. But I think through my years, it was kind of hard to believe in God through sports, because it just drew me away with the language, just not being there, and it was just tough. And I think my grandpa kind of realized that. And on the hour drives here, he brought football. He talked about football and Christ. And it just, I think he kind of knew that Christ kind of bored me out, and then he added football to make it more fun, that I would actually pay attention and skills. The boys, the friends. It's kind of hard to talk about faith with them. If they're a Christian, I just don't know when to talk about faith at all with any of them. I don't know when to bring it up or talk to them. It's just, a very interesting thing to do. But I think it's harder to talk to people that don't believe, because I just don't know what they're thinking if I talk to them about it. And it really made me think, how am I going to add Christianity into sports? I think the best thing to do is, what made me think, is to be a leader, a captain, or somebody to be there for you if you need help, or something that brings good attitude to make joy into the sport. How to be not a good leader is somebody that's there cussing, language, yelling at your team. I remember times when I played hockey when I was the older one, probably looked up by the teams, and I used to just yell at my team when they made a mistake, when they shot the puck, when they weren't supposed to, when they should have passed it, or when they just did something. Especially my cousin. I knew I yelled at him a lot when I was younger, and I now know that I feel really bad about it. I kind of, these last couple of years with my older team, I finally got to feel that. Because in a couple games when I shot the puck, hit a guy's shinny, and then it went the other way and the other team scored. And then my team just started yelling at me, getting mad at me, and it just made me mad, angry, upset. And then after the game, like 20 minutes after or something, when we're walking out, they come up to me and say, "Sorry for yelling at you. It's just a game. It's just a thing." In my head, why do they yell at me? It just makes me mad, angry, and upset, and I just don't understand why. What does a good teammate look like? I think to go back is to be a captain, a leader, just to be there for your team through the hard patches, through everything. Who gave me really good example, made me think of a good example, is my quarterback, Ethan. He was there through the hard patches. He was there. If I needed somebody to talk to, I know he was there. He made it fun to play football. My last 2 years ago, he just made it fun to play those 2 years. It just wanted joy that I knew he was there and I could talk to him, and he just made it a fun atmosphere. And that's what I'm trying to add to my faith. Be a good teammate is just to be there for your team, I think. And be a good leader. Be somebody there for them. Keep forgetting the clicker. I had to do a research thing. I didn't know what to do for a while. It took me a while to think. And then my cousin and my brother had a hockey game, and the refs didn't show up. And when I was reffing, I was thinking, this would be my perfect capstone, because I can see the different angle that I'm not used to seeing. Because I remember in games where I've yelled at the ref, cussed at the ref, talked behind the ref's back how bad he is. And now it makes me think, what have I done to refs? Because it's not a fun job to do. Because you get yelled at by parents, coaches, players, and when you make a bad call, you get yelled at. Even if it was a good call, you get yelled at by the other team. And this is one of the things I looked up in the game. Before you say something to the ref, what would you think if you were reffing the game? To look back, you win as a team, you lose as a team. Last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, we took second. And the goalie came up to me and was like, or to the team, he's like, "It's all my fault." And we cheered him up instead of bringing him down and blaming everybody in the locker room what they did mistake. But we just cheered each other up in the locker room. It's the first time I've ever had that before, and it was the best I've ever had. It was the most fun team, even losing. We had fun no matter what, even losing. It was just out of the world. And we cheered each other up, and we're like, we'll get them next time. But when you win as a team, you win. You have fun. You celebrate. You just have a fun time, and then you get back at it next time. And then friends. I was homeschooled for a while, and I just didn't really know. I didn't really have any friends. Like, I can remember me going on TV, going on Netflix, and going through the rows and just be like, I've seen all those, seen all those, I've seen all those. And then my mom brought me here to Front Range my 7th grade year, I didn't really want to come at all. My mom actually paid me to come to school. She gave me $1 each morning. I hated coming to school. But these last couple of years, having friends that make it fun, my new friends with hockey, Reese, it just made it more fun in life to go do stuff, more joy that you can go have life skills and stuff. And then take away with faith. Be there for others. Be a good teammate. Be a good friend. Just like how Front Range has been with coaches, teachers, especially the RISE program, being there for me when I need to take a test, doing homework. They've just been there through my years, helping me out through teaching me life skills I need. What else do I need to talk about? In conclusion, competition, you win, you lose as a team. Friends, you got to be there for each other. It's probably the best thing in life, I think, is friends besides Christ. And then faith, just be there for people. I think that's the best thing you can be. Because this last year, adding it into hockey and stuff is just, it's being there for them. And I think that's the best thing because I've had the most fun this year playing sports. It's just because I've helped with my language a lot. Like, you can ask anybody. I used to just cuss 24/7, but after not cussing as much, I can tell my team doesn't cuss as much, and it's just a more fun atmosphere now. And it's just life skills that I've learned. Thank you guys for coming.